Hey guys, I'm Doctor McFarland, and in this video I'm going to do an overview of the top panel of the Boss Katana 100 watt head. And be sure to subscribe and click that bell down below so you'll be notified every time I release a new video in this series. So let's get right into it. So I'm using a Eastman T59V, and this is a great 335 style guitar. And I'm just plugging straight into the input, as you see here on the left side. And I'm also taking a 1/4-inch guitar cable and using the phone's record out going into my audio interface, which is the Arturia AudioFuse 8 Pre. So all the tones you're going to be hearing in this series is a direct recording, just like I've been using it here in the studio. So let's start on the left side here. We have all the amplifier types. And this is going to give us an acoustic, a clean, a crunched lead, brown, and then a variation switch, which gives you two different options per amp style. So if we put it on acoustic, this is going to be more of a flatter response that would sound great for acoustic guitar, but let's just see what it sounds like for electric. And here's clean. And after each example, I'll go ahead and hit the variation switch. You can hear what that sounds like. So it's either going to be off or on, which is the red indicator. Okay. And that sounds good. Let's go on to crunch. Variation. All right, here's the lead sound, which is a little bit more gain. Alright, a little variation here. So it sounds like the variation has just a little bit more upper bite. And then here's the brown sound. Wow. So I think already, just without messing with anything else on the amp, you get a great sound right out of the box. And let's go ahead and look at the EQ now. We have a bass, middle, treble. So here's the clean sound, and let's see what it sounds like at 12 o'clock, and then we'll adjust just a little bit. All right, very cool. So let's go on to a lead sound. Let's do the same thing with the EQ. Alright, so you really have a wide range of EQ sounds just by dialing them up or down. The next section is your effects. Now, there is a foot switch that you can buy separately for this to turn different things on and off. And there's also a computer software that you can use via USB to go in and change different effects on here. But for me, I like to keep it simple. And when I'm using this in the studio, I don't necessarily need a foot switch to change things back and forth. That's when we can look at the tone settings and actually saving different presets. And I'll show you that here in a second. But this is a really cool idea of using, basically think of like a Boss metal zone where you have a knob in the middle, but you also have the middle knob. So the outside ring is going to select your boost or overdrive setting, and the inside ring is going to select your modulation. Okay, so let's check this out. So if I start bringing this up, you can see the light come on here. Alright, so that's a good overdrive sound. We'll press it again. Now it's red. Alright, and this is going to be an overdrive sound. Alright, and the orange is going to be a distortion. Alright, let's turn that off. Alright, for the modulation, we're going to have a chorus. Then the red setting is going to be a phase 90. And the orange is going to be a flanger. Alright, for the effects, we're actually going to have a tremolo, which is my favorite. And the higher you have the knob, the faster the tremolo rate. That's primarily what I would use in the studio. I don't really need a lot of modulation effects. But the next one is going to be a T-wah. So if you want like a funk kind of sound, that's great for that. And on the orange setting, we have a heavy octave. So let me put it on a drive sound and let's listen to what this does. Alright, great. So I would use that sound to really thicken up a lead line. And then next on the delay sound, we're going to have a digital delay. We do have a little tap tempo button right here. And now we have an analog delay. And now we're going to have a tape echo. So there's definitely plenty there to work with. If you want to dial in a good clean sound or maybe a lead with a certain type of delay, it's very easy to do that. And then the last one is your reverb. And this is going to give us either a plate, a spring, or a hall. So the green is going to be your plate. Here's the spring. You hear like the little flutter in there, the spring shaking. And then this is the hall. Now the next section is going to have your presence, your master, and your power control. I'm kind of dialing in the overall volume here in the room based on 50 watts and the preamp gain setting on my audio interface. But let's just say, for example, that you want to go full 100 watts. You could definitely do that and just either turn down the master, or you can turn up the master and turn down the wattage here. So here's a half a watt with the master up. And then master down at 50 watts. And let's keep the master the same and turn up to 100 watts. So you can find a way to kind of match the level between half a watt, 50 watts, and 100 watts. The only difference is the amount of headroom you're actually going to get in your signal. So if you have it on a clean setting and you had it on half a watt, then you're going to start compressing the sound a little bit more if you were to have it at 100 watts. So let's go back to 50 watts here. Let's just dial in a good clean sound. All right, so here's a reverb, and let's say I had a little bit of delay in there. And all the knobs are being saved except for the master volume and also the power control. So whatever changes I make here, I can store that as a preset. So let's actually raise the gain just a little bit. And if I hold down channel 1, it's going to blink, and now that preset is saved. Now we can actually store up to 8 different presets by holding down the panel and going to a B bank. So right now we're in bank A. I'm going to fill up these slots right here. So let's go ahead and turn on some overdrive. Maybe turn on the reverb. All right, hold down channel 2. And the lights are going to blink. All right, back to channel 1. So you see how easy it is to create a sound and then just store that sound in one of the slots. All right, let's go ahead. We can stay on that clean sound, and let's go to crunch. Let's keep the delay on. We'll turn the reverb down. Maybe add a boost. So I added some brightness, cut the mids just a little bit. Now let's hold down channel 3. That's going to blink, and now that sound is saved. So here's my clean. Here's my clean with a little bit of overdrive. And here's my crunch. All right, great. Let's go on to a lead sound now. Let's go to lead. Turn up the delay a little bit more. Let's go to an analog delay. And all right, hold down channel 4. There we go. Channel 1. All right, great. So now to go to the bank B, we just hold down panel. And now the panel light is lit. And you can see we're on channel 1. So this is actually saved to a crunch sound. All right, let's see what channel 2 is. Alright, sounds good. Channel 3. drive the clean sound a little bit. Cool, let's save that. And then channel 4. Alright, so you can see how easy it is to dial in your sounds, store them, and you have all the sounds you need there in the studio to record your cleans, your crunch rhythm stuff, your lead stuff. And really, for the money, this is a great head that you can easily record with, but then put on top of a cab and rock out with your show. So if you have any comments or questions, leave those down below. And once again, be sure to subscribe and click that bell so you'll be notified of future videos in this series. But in the meantime, I'm Dr. McFarland. I will see you in the next video. Keep rocking.